Welcome. As Miriam mentioned, I am Reverend G, and I'm the minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Church, and I'm delighted that you guys have chosen to attend tonight. Attend tonight, especially because Sue is somebody who has been part of my life for many years, unbeknownst to her, but it's her music. Um, and so I very much look forward to this conversation. And we are a Unitarian Universalist church, and I think, Sue, you probably are probably more and better known in the world of unity. And this is Unitarian Universalist Church, and um, we are also a non-dogmatic church. We believe that dogma separates, and there's enough to separate us. And we just decided to put love at the center, and then fight for social justice and equity and equality and social justice. Yeah. So anyway, thank you for joining us tonight. Sue is our. Before I begin though, do we do the ask now? Miriam, will you put up a slide? It's just to let you know that we are very delighted to be here, and every program that we bring to you, we are just so happy to do it. And the reality is that there's also a cost associated with it. So if you are able, and if you can, and if you'd like to send a couple of dollars our way to be able, for us to be able to bring more programming to you that is interesting and inspiring, then please choose to donate. And there are several ways that you can do it. You can do it online. This is this tinyurl.com donate to UCC. You can send a check. And it's most important for us that you attend. So if a blessing is what is yours to do, we welcome that as well. So thank you so much. And so I met Sue. I was a unity minister at one point in life, and we had a Pasi Palooza type concert there at that church. And Sue was one of the artists who came, as well as Daniel Neymad, um, Sloan Wainwright, and I forget the other name. You mentioned it, Ralph.
Glenn Rothwell.
That's it, Glenn Rothwell. And so that was my first in-person experience of Sue, and I was blown away. It was
yeah, that's a good picture, Nancy.
And that was a fantastic concert. So Sue's mission in life is to change the world one song at a time. You are a very prolific singer-songwriter. In fact, you have 8 albums to date or more by now.
Yes, 8.
Yeah, 8 albums.
And some unfinished, like always.
Well, that's the way of the artist, right?
Yeah, that's right. Always undone.
And then you also have been the music director for 30-some years at a church.
35 years at Unity Church of Clearwater. I answered an ad in the paper. I thought they were probably a cult, but they were offering a check, so I took the job.
You didn't know about Unity at the time?
No, I grew up Catholic, so no. But, the Catholics weren't paying and Unity was. But I've changed now I would stay if I weren't getting paid, so.
How wonderful. And I just think of that Unity of Clearwater, like, wow, what a lucky church to have you as their music director.
Oh, thank you.
I can only imagine that. And then you, and I really want to know about this, how this came about, that you are the co-founder of Empower Music and Arts, and then you have also this licensing, or is this the same thing?
It's part of the umbrella of Empower. Our mission was to have such great music, as you mentioned, G, And a lot of people didn't know about it. And as well, the artists didn't know each other. So under the umbrella of Empower, we created writing retreats. And so now, like Karen Drucker and Daniel Nahmod, they write with other artists. They know each other now. They come together. We do writing retreats. We do festivals. Then we have a licensing so that churches can, for $100 a year, half of the money goes to the artist, which is not the case with the pro member. You know, I'm part of BMI also, but the Empower licensing is much more generous. We're a smaller
What
pool.
is BMI?
It's a pro, like ASCAP and BMI. They're pro licensing, you know, like I put my whole catalog up in it so that if somebody plays my song on Spotify or something after, you know, I looked it up, after 312,000 plays, I would get $1,000. Yeah. So anyway, obviously I'm not getting paid from Spotify, even though I have a Spotify account. So, you know, streaming has changed the world. So.
So how long ago did you co-found this
It's
Empower?
been 20 years. 20 years. We started out at a Unity conference, or maybe an INTA conference, actually, in Phoenix, Arizona. And there were about 10 of us, you know. And now, you know, several hundred people come to the conference. And it's a way to network and to share music and to meet the people that whose music that people play, that the churches play, and also co-writing and community, which we all are looking for, like-minded people, and training for music directors that are looking for resources, or, you know, just got the job and have no idea what kind of music, you know, they would need to play to do songs about social justice or songs about healing or anything, which we have a huge catalog on our website. So we have a lot of things under the Empower umbrella.
When I came over to the world of Unitarian Universalism, and I went to the our annual what's that called, Miriam? We have the GA, the General Assembly. Thank you. I went to my first General Assembly as a Unitarian Universalist, and there you were. There you were, set up as a vendor to promote your music, and I was just so happy to see that. And I was happy to see that you had created for that a book with social justice oriented songs, and just, you know, seeing an old friend then it was a new place for me.
Yes.
And I think it was your first time there as well, maybe.
Yeah, we did a couple of them. We did the one in New Orleans, and I can't remember where the other one was, but we did a couple of the General Assemblies. So, yeah. But we did create 60 songs for social change, a songbook, so to make the music accessible.
Yeah, we have it. We have it at my church. So, your mission in life is to change the world one song at a time. How's it going?
I'm still writing songs, and I'll still be singing them. You know, I'm still hopeful. Let's just say, optimistic.
Yeah, well, I'm very happy to hear that, especially this week and some thousand. It feels like years, but days to come. Music is a language that we all speak.
Yes.
And I have found that music opens the heart, and it creates an opening to a group of people who have never been together, but there they are listening to the same group. Music can bring them together like words can't. The spoken word cannot. So I have a question for you, and it is relevant for today, because I have to tell you that I personally feel very heavy, deep, and real in the aftermath of these election results. And so I am looking everywhere I can for hope, light, and inspiration in the face of, well, that is becoming very apparent to all of us in these executive orders that have been signed in just the last couple of days. What is your answer to that?
Well, I also find it hard to be positive about it. I've really been not my normal cheerful, positive self since Monday. However, you know, I plan to be vigilant and pay attention. And would a song make a difference across the board? Maybe. I don't know. I know that the last time he was in office, it's hard to believe that he's in office again, but the last time anyway, we were together in Arizona, and Karen Drucker and Sloan and Glenn and I wrote a song called Help Each Other Through, because that's really all you can do. Am I going to change things on a global scale? Probably not, but I might be able to touch one heart or help one person and then it's a cascading wave, hopefully, So I don't want to give up. I still think that music, you just think about a song. You can hear a song that you listened to when you were 16, and when you hear that song, you're instantly transported back to that time, no matter how many years it's been, and you get comfort from that. So I want to write some songs that hopefully I write them for myself. They comfort me, and then hopefully they speak to other people also.
That's so funny. Before this evening, that's the song I was listening to. Help each other through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it helped me. It helped me lift me up a little bit. I grew up in communism, so my people in my congregation know this very well. That I grew up in Transylvania, and so I lived in this communist bloc. So Transylvania is in Romania, and then next to it is Hungary and the Czechoslovakia. It was back then. So Poland, it was the communist bloc, and freedom of speech was something we heard of.
Right, but didn't experience.
didn't exist, or we didn't experience. However, we had musicians who found a way to speak into the collective experience by using metaphors, very creative metaphors. So if the censorship caught the song, they really, because censorship didn't look at the spirit of the song, right? It looked at the wording of the song. So they couldn't censor it because it spoke of roses and it spoke of flags. But the meaning and the spirit of the song was very fueled the resistance and fueled the hope of the people who held a very different vision for the future. And so in that sense, it gave us, it sustained us, when we came together, we played that music and it was so life-giving. And I am wondering if since you are the leader of this collective, basically, if you guys have a formulated for yourselves a goal to do that for the rest of us.
It's interesting that's an interesting question, Dee. And I have never really been in the position to where I had to couch my lyrics in metaphor. I take a what did I memoir writing class, and metaphor is very heavy in that, you know. So, but interestingly enough, just this week, Karen Drucker has sent me a song that she wrote with Michael Gott about Monday, and Gary Lynn Floyd has just sent me a song, and Karen Taylor Good has just sent me a song. So there's already a lot of energy around it, not necessarily couched in metaphor so far. Who knows if, you know, we'll have to learn a new skill set instead of the, you know, in your face lyrics or to your heart lyrics that I'm more experienced with. But we are going to host a writing retreat in March, a virtual writing retreat. And usually there's about, it's like speed dating. You know, they come together on Zoom, and I put them in groups of 2 or 3 to write songs. And I can guarantee that the theme of this writing retreat is going to be between congregational and songs of hope and justice. And I expect, you know, we usually get 100 new songs that are killer, because I mean, when you put Karen Drucker together with, you know, Daniel Nahmod, or you know, there's some great writers. It's a pro member retreat, and there's some incredible songwriters. So it will be coming your way soon.
Is there a way to get a link to these songs that you have recently received? Is that something that you can share, or at some point you can share with the rest of us?
Karen
And of course,
Drucker is getting
we're
ready
definitely
to.
happy to pay.
Karen Drucker is going to release hers as a single as soon as her husband gets done. Right now it's just a piano vocal, and I haven't. Gary Lynn Floyd might be releasing his, and then Karen Taylor Good has put, like, hers is about kindness and bullying in schools, but she's put like an animation on it. I'm like, wow, where's this free time coming from? I didn't know she had that skill set. I was very
Probably
impressed.
AI.
Yeah, no, she hired somebody. They did it during COVID, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I asked her, believe me.
Right.
AI is another learning skill. I can't do it. But the songs, they're just stirring, you know what I mean? Everybody's been shocked. We've been in shock for you know, a couple months, and it takes a while to create something to where you can hear it. You either need to go to a studio or be married to a studio producer like Karen is.
Okay.
But
well,
coming your way.
Okay, so again, would we be like notified when these songs are released, or how do I find them? How do we find them when they do come out? What's the best way to find them?
Empower puts out a very random newsletter. I mean, we don't do it every month. You won't be inundated by it for sure. Empower Music and Arts, empowerma.com. And the new song releases would be noted on there when we have the themed writing, you know.
And we would get that, right? Because you're
on the newsletter for
the
sure.
Licensing. Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't come under your licensing. That's, you know, just whatever songs you use. It would come in the newsletter, and then I'll write myself a note to let you know. I think I can remember.
Thank you so much. and then we can let you guys know when these songs are available, so you can also be inspired and uplifted, because we need all the inspiration we can get.
The ones for the 60 songs of social change are on the website with all of the songs with samples to hear. Those are done, that songbook. So
we have that book.
Yeah, but if your congregation wanted to listen to the artists singing the songs, that is on our website.
Miriam, would you be willing to drop in the chat the website, which is empower.com, is it?
Empowerma.com.
Empowerma.com. Thank you.
And you search for 60 songs of social change, and it's a songbook. And when you click on it, 60 samples come up by a wide variety of artists. So you have the book, but you don't have the MP3s. This is the recordings of it.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
We use that actually quite often also in our
Yeah.
congregation.
Yeah, it's got Peter Mayer in it. He's a Unitarian Universalist performer. He's a genius songwriter.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, those of you use know that's the Blue Boat home.
Mhm.
And then
Holy Now.
Holy. Oh yeah.
Everybody in.
Song. Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we sing all those songs.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Yeah, he is. What is the future of Empower? Where do you see it go?
Well, we're getting ready to host our 20th festival in September at Unity Village. And, we focus a lot on the licensing because all of the songwriters have had to recreate themselves since CDs have, pretty much been phased out. So they had to, reinvent ways because that was how they came to a church or how they came and did a concert. They depended on the CD sales to, cover part of their cost for being there. That's why we could bring, 4 artists to a church, 100-member church, because we could sell enough product to make up for, for smaller numbers. But those days have changed. So, the licensing helps a lot. And we have an online store. So we're going to keep doing that, and the writing retreats where we generate new material. It's an outlet for the artist also. It's a way to put into words what all of our hearts are feeling, and put it in a way that, maybe you'll hear in your heart over and over. A song often stays with you even after the best sermon. It's often, this is what my minister at Unity Clearwater tells me, that it's the songs that, we're very, very on purpose about tying the song in with the message. And if you do that properly, then the song carries the message of the sermon throughout the whole week in the person's head, when they hear the song on repeat over and over in their head, like a little earworm. That's perfect.
Well,
when
that
happens.
is hopeful thinking. I agree. I also do the same thing. I share her conviction. I doubted that people remember my messages, but I guarantee you they remember the song.
Then they've got your message, though, because if you've done,
maybe,
yeah, the message and the song go together, because that's why you chose that song for that day. So, it's a very subtle way of getting the message across twice.
Tell me about the life of a songwriter, singer-songwriter like you. The struggles, the successes, and are you able, how about making a living, doing what you love? And this is, I'm sure, what you love.
Well, I have a lot of small jobs. I don't make my living purely as a singer-songwriter like Daniel Nahmod does, or Karen Drucker. I'm a music director at a church. I'm an assistant director at a Catholic church. I'm one of the co-owners of Empower Music and Arts. And then on the side, I write songs and do CDs. Before COVID, I used to actually travel a lot to churches and speak and do concerts, do the Pazapaloozas like G talked about, which is 3 or 4 artists who come together, and it's like a musical conversation. And they're very, very fun. Lots of impromptu harmonies, and they're really. We did 300 or 400 of them across the United States. We haven't done many since COVID. We actually came to Michigan last year, Daniel Nahmod and Melinda Allen and I, but I don't think we went to Kalamazoo. We went to Plymouth and Indianapolis. That's not Michigan, I know that. And then Lansing.
That's Michigan, all right.
Yeah. So I I use my songs at my church, and I actually use them on my online things I do. And like most artists have had to recreate, like Daniel Namod takes his wife's silver jewelry with him. She creates beautiful silver jewelry, and it takes the place of the CD sales. And he makes hand carved and hand like hearts, wooden hearts that sell out instantly. So he's been creative with his product table. A lot of artists sell jewelry. I got jewelry at my yoga studio, and from someone that made it there, and took that to shows. And depressing though it is, the jewelry and the wooden boxes and hearts actually sell better than CDs because no one has a CD player. So,
Right.
and we've all made flash drives, so that people can have a digital way of doing it, and that works. Sheet music, so that people can use the songs, a wide variety of recreating yourself. Oh, good.
Yes. Yes. And that's I'm so sorry. And I imagine that's very taxing as well. And I hope that you guys probably share ideas with one another.
We do, yes. We share ideas, and through the concerts and through the things that Empower does with the artist, we've all become, very good friends, which is a community. We've created a community of like-minded songwriters where there wasn't one before.
I'm just gonna mute myself. My wife just got home, and our little dog can't contain himself, so he has to bark. It's how it is. COVID, how has that affected you guys and your craft?
Well, COVID was another big event that stopped everyone in their tracks, and every job that I had canceled, like every other artist, because we all had to stay home for a year. And I found that even at my age, I could learn new skills. So I learned how to do this. I learned how to do Zoom, a word that I didn't even know. I thought it meant what you do in a car when you zoom around. So I learned Zooming. I learned how to do events on FaceTime and Zoom, and how to do virtual. We did a virtual awards ceremony. We learned how to do virtual songwriting. It's not the same as being in the room with someone, but it's the second best thing. It makes it possible. So, I will say that the very first, I learned how to create videos. I'm not very good at them. And the first time I created a video of me performing a song, I think it took me 50 tries. I was not a quick learner. My computer, would do weird things just as I almost got finished. But I'd like to say I got better, and I have gotten better because I went out and got some teachers that could show me what I was doing wrong. And so during COVID, we all learned a lot of new skills.
Yeah.
Things that I took for granted, like churches that I thought that will always be in place, I was wrong. Everything shut down. So it was, it was an initial huge shock, and like all of us, we learned to do new things.
Yeah, you dug into the opportunity aspect of a big challenge.
Yeah, I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah.
I cried for a week or two. Okay.
Well,
but that wasn't getting me anything.
All right. Wow. So, before I open it up to questions and for the audience, would you be willing to play us a song?
Absolutely. Do you have a request? You just want me to choose something?
If it were up to me, I would, I'd probably help each other through is what I would request. But if you are inspired to play something else, then I'd rather you do that. You know best.
I think help each other through is a perfect choice. I'm going to turn on my reverb because that makes everything better. All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. Twists and turns, unexpected, day by day moving on. I don't have all the answers, but day by day, right or wrong, all we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other to help each other through. Crashing waves touch the shore. Time moves faster every day. Ebb and flow, no control. And all that's left to say is all we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. Help each other through. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Sue, how can we purchase your music?
You could go to my website, which is SueRiley.com, R-I-L-E-Y, SueRiley.com, or I have in the Empower store, empowerma.com, there's a pro member section, and you'll see my face in my headshot taken 20 years ago. Still short hair, but different color. And you have everything that I've ever put into the stores in that folder as well. So 2 options.
Miriam, would you be willing to drop Sue's website in the chat for us, please? And then we will also, when we will send the recording out to all those who registered for tonight's event, we will also include these so everybody has an opportunity to go and support you and bless themselves with your music.
Thank you, Jay.
Oh, absolutely. What a pleasure. So, anybody would like to ask Sue a question, comment? I'm opening it up to the audience now. Right, just one at a time. So while we do that, then this is a small enough group that why don't we introduce ourselves to Sue, who is here, and also share with us just in a word or two, why is it that you chose to register for tonight's event? And I'm going to call on you as I see you show up on my screen, okay? So Judy Oliver, and so delighted to see you.
Thank you. I unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I left Kalamazoo going on 3 years ago, and I'm living in New Jersey. And all through, I have been touching base with the congregation when I can. And I have found that especially in the last few months, music has been very important to me. It's very powerful. And so I really wanted to hear Sue tonight. I've never heard her before. So it's wonderful that she's able to be with us tonight.
Thank you, Judy. Kathy Hayes.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Sue, for a very nice conversation, kind of expanding my awareness about songwriters in the social justice department. And I certainly appreciate it. I love music, and I agree. It's a great way to bring people together and get a message across and give people a heartfelt way to connect with the thoughts in the piece. So thank you for explaining your perception and your work. It's much needed these days. I wanted to ask, when you said you were music director in Clearwater, is that Clearwater, Florida, by any chance?
It is, yes. Unity of Clearwater, Florida.
Okay. Currently, I am just a half hour away from that in Reddington Shores. And I'm here for the winter. Last year, I had 4 of the congregation members down here, and they happened to be here on a Sunday. And we had heard what a wonderful Unitarian church was in Clearwater. So we attended. But maybe you're at it. Are you at the Unity or Unitarian?
I'm at the Unity right across the street from the one on Nursery Road, which is probably the one you went to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Octagon. You went to the Octagon.
Yes, we
They're
did.
good friends, dear friends. And, we sold our building right before COVID. So we've been meeting in beautiful synagogues for a couple years. And now we're meeting in the cafeteria of the previous building, which is now a charter school, as we wait on our building to be built on the same property. But we are literally right across the street from the Octagon Unitarian Universalist Church.
Oh, wow. Well, I'll have to get up there and do a visit and see if I happen to run into you some Sunday.
I'm almost always there.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carol Fitzgerald. And you are muted, Carol, if you would be so kind to unmute.
There. Hello.
And nice to meet you. I don't know you, so I'm curious also.
I know.
How did you hear about this event?
Well, we are dear friends of Darby Fetzer, and we have been to your church, just not recently, but we have been there, and so we have been getting your your requests for your programs. And Dave and I both love music and song, and he's a great singer. So we were looking forward to hearing about her music, Sue's music, and now that she's talking about Florida, we're wishing we could be a little closer to that warm weather.
It's 40 here. It's not that warm.
Well,
I was going
A
to
lot warmer than here.
I was going to say, look at me, girl. I'm in my warmest robe I have. It's freezing here.
I know. In Florida, when it's cold, it really is cold. It feels, but this has been a terrible week up here. So anyway, we were just very interested in hearing about the music, and we were nice to hear a song. We would love to hear more songs, but thank you for letting us join.
Well, I'm sure that can be arranged. Nancy and Ron.
Hi. So Nancy and Ron Kroll in Kalamazoo, longtime UUCC members, and we're so grateful to have this opportunity. We're going to need Sue and so many more people this year to keep us going, I think. And music certainly does help. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. You're
I
welcome.
want to,
Thank you.
we have several groups that I'd like to introduce, help each other through too, because it's such a great song for right now.
Thank you.
It is. Yeah, you're right. Very timely. Thank you, Ron. Dawn.
Hi, I'm Dawn Renner. Yeah, I'm here at Kalamazoo also, and I just really love music as well, and I can't sing particularly, although I enjoy it. You're not getting any CDs from me, but I really do feel as though music can define a movement, it can define a people. When everyone sings together, it really is a bonding thing and gives us a way to express feelings that we may not have words for otherwise. And so it just seemed like a really important subject.
You know, I love what you said, Dawn, that it can define a movement and it can also defy one. It's so powerful. Music is just so powerful. Gary Miller.
Good
And
evening.
Gary, nice to meet you. Good evening. And I don't believe we've met, unless we have.
No, I have had the opportunity to attend a couple of UUCC sponsored events online and enjoyed them very much. I think I probably got introduced to it through People's Church, through some of the groups there. And I've been a longtime believer in the power of music to help people come to some degree of peace. And certainly with everything going on right now, everybody's looking for that. So that's where I'm coming from.
Thank you, Gary. Darby.
Here I am in Schoolcraft right next to Kalamazoo, in my pajamas. Just got done eating dinner. And Carol, I apologize. I apologize to everybody because I sent what I thought was a personal chat to everyone explaining my situation here. But Sue, I especially love when I made room for Grace. I have a daughter named Grace, and so that touches me even more. And I just love, love, love that song. And I was very curious to hear about your journey during COVID and how when technologies change around capturing music, like when CDs are no more, that becomes such a challenge for artists to be able to sell their product. I never really considered that before. So thanks for taking us on your journey to further understand that.
Yeah, it's most people don't understand what a huge blow it was for the CD players to leave cars and everything like that. And you know, even buying from an artist, if you buy an MP3 at $1.29, it pays almost 100,000% more than if you download it on a stream. I mean, it takes a astonishing number of plays before they see, like, it pays like, you know, 1/100th of a penny per play. It's, I don't know who's making the money, but it's not the songwriters.
Oh dear. Yeah, these are things we don't know.
Yeah, no, I didn't know it either till I saw this little graph. I just knew, like, wow, you know.
Oh wow.
But Marjorie, you know, sorry, I'm done talking.
It's okay. Marjorie wrote us in the chat. Thank you so very much. Or unless Marjorie, you want to speak, I will read it. Thank you so very much, Sue and Reverend G, for your conversation and for your wonderful song, Sue. I am a lifelong lover of music and stumbled onto your UU website last month when looking for guided mindfulness meditations and have greatly enjoyed 2 of them already. Live in Southeast Michigan, and I'm looking forward to visiting your church in warmer weather. We are looking forward, Marjorie, for your visit as well. And I have to run along this evening and wanted to introduce myself and thank you. Peace, Marjorie. Peace to you too, Marjorie. Thank you so much. So, will you play Since
Wait,
I'm
you
in
didn't
Hope
do
for
me.
Grace? Hmm?
You skipped me.
Oh, Miriam.
Yeah,
Go
I'm here.
ahead.
I'm here because I have to be here. But but I think that music, especially in a church setting, is so important. I think it's one of the last places that you can sing badly in public and and then have people join in with you. I think that there's so few places that we can sing together. And it's okay. It's if I started singing in the grocery store, people would look strange at me, but at church it works. So I'm grateful for that. Um, I wanted you to, if you don't mind, to talk a little bit about your creative process when writing songs. Do you come with the words first, or the music first, or is it a organic process? As Darby mentioned, some of your lyrics are just so powerful, and I just wondered how do you get to that space?
Thank you for the question. It's a good question. You know, I did not start out as a songwriter. I started writing songs probably in 1999 because I was a music director at a Unity church and there was no music that fit any of the theologies. It was pop music that they would change lyrics to. And I thought, how many times a year do I have to sing Climb Every Mountain or something like that that will fit with the church service? And I started, this is a long answer, but I'm getting to your answer. I started writing songs and I thought, how hard can it be? And it is actually difficult to learn to write a song that someone besides your mother will want to hear more than one time. So I started going to a songwriting camp, which I'm on the board of directors now for, Summer Songs, which meets in, when I first went there, they were in, it's up in upstate New York in the summer, fortunately. And it was rustic for me. Okay, I'm a Marriott girl. And it was out in the woods, in a bunkhouse. I thought, ugh, this is a huge mistake. And yet, I've been for 20 years now, I don't miss it, but that first foray into that group setting of songwriters, most of whom were business people who did music as a hobby on the side, but where I met some of my lifelong friends like Sloan Wainwright and David Roth and Glenn Rothell, so many others, changed my life. So I left there 20 years ago and I started looking for opportunities by studying people who were doing what I wanted to do, like Janice Stanfield and Peter Mayer. And because I was in charge of a church, I could book them as an artist when they were touring through. And I would always put together a songwriting workshop for them to do, because you can get an artist, there's not much happening on Monday night. So I would do a Monday night concert or a Monday night workshop. And then you always want to write up, just like anything, you want to choose someone who's in a higher circle, so to say. So, and co-writing is very powerful. Like the songs you mentioned, I Made Room for Grace, I co-wrote that with a friend. Then you've got two heads working together. And, I was the new kid on the block, but I organized the writing retreats. And then when you organize it, you can put yourself in one of the slots. And the first time I did a co-writing slot with Tom Kimmel, who I wrote Everything Changes I Can Change Too with, I was too terrified to open my mouth. But you grow from that, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to put myself in the position to learn and become better at the craft, because it is a craft. Every word counts. You've got 3.5 minutes to put together a song that will be memorable, will have a hook, and won't be preachy. And there's an art to that. So I still take songwriting classes. I teach songwriting classes, and when I hear like something that could be a hook, like I Choose Love, which is, overdone, but I did write a song called that, Why Not? Or I Made Room for Grace. I write it down in my book of ideas. And then when we have a writing retreat, or when I'm looking for something to write, or I need to write a talk and I don't have a song that fits with what I need to talk about, then I go to my book of ideas and pull something out. And, I make a word palette. So it's, say I've got my hook, say I wanted to write about I Made Room for Grace. So I didn't want it to be preachy, which grace can have a very religious connotation also. I wanted it more to be about making room for what the universe wants to give you, making room for possibilities, not being so tied to one way. And it was really my life story because my grandfather was my first music teacher, and he taught me from when I was 5 on for a few years. And we did music together for, his whole life, after I came on the scene, of course. And what did I do with that gift? When I got out of school, I majored in music. I thought the best way to explore my art and my craft that my grandfather had so carefully and lovingly instilled was to start playing in bars. No, not the right idea. That's what I Made Room for Grace was talking about. I thought I had all the answers, and then I answered an ad for a Unity church and found a new way, a new path, and one that was so much more fulfilling than singing as a backdrop. I could actually sing where people would listen to the words that I work so hard on. So making room for grace, I got out of my own way. Hard to do, darn it. So does that answer your question in probably more words than you ever imagined?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're
Well, I
welcome.
think you have to sing that now, though.
I Made Room for Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you play it then?
You want me to play it? Did everybody go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you? Yeah, we'll gladly listen.
Yes, I'd like to do I Made Room for Grace, which I wrote with my friend Melinda Wood Allen. And then I'd like to do the title cut of my new CD, and I'll talk about that in a second. So here's I Made Room for Grace. I used to think I had to have my own way. I could do everything on my own. Living my life like a one-woman play left me feeling confused and alone. Still I held on tight to the life that I knew till it wasn't the life I remembered. Finally admitting I hadn't a clue, I opened my arms in surrender. And I made room for grace. I just stepped aside and opened up a space and watched the blessings arrive every day since I made room for grace. Now I want to live without making demands, asking for help when I need it. Being happy just doing the best that I can, and when I stumble, I won't be defeated. Since I made room for grace, I just stepped aside and opened up a space to watch the blessings arrive every day since I made room for grace. If I had insisted on all that I wanted, I see I'd have sold myself short. But when I stopped resisting, I got what I needed, and so much more. Since I made room for grace, I just stepped aside and opened up a space to watch the blessings arrive. I made room for grace. I just stepped aside and opened up a space. And now the blessings arrive every day since I made room for grace. Since I made room for grace. Thank you. And my next song I'd like to play, it's called There Are Moments. It's my title cut off of my newest CD, which was delivered to my door the week that COVID shut down the entire world. Perfect timing. I wrote this song virtually. You know, I wrote it with Harold Payne and Richard McDeesey over the phone, FaceTime. And it's a message to myself that even when things look really grim, like, you know, currently, there are moments, if you look for them, in a smile of someone, in something that you can do for someone, that are moments that take your breath away in the absolute beauty of connection. And I find I need to hear it quite often to remember this. So here's There Are Moments, written by myself, Harold Payne, who's in the Hall of Fame in Detroit, and Richard McDeesey. An ordinary day, in an ordinary life, there's beauty all around me, but sometimes all I see is black and white. Just going through the motions, life just passing by. Drifting on a daydream, wishing I'd wake up from this emptiness inside. But there are moments when magic happens unexpectedly. There are moments, precious moments, where the wonder of this world is all I see. The first breath of the morning, whispers in my ear, She says, "You've got it all inside you. Will you know it in your heart when it appears? For there are moments when magic happens unexpectedly. There are moments, precious moments, where the wonder of this world is all I see. The dance of possibilities to the rhythm of my destiny won't let me slip into my old routine. 'Cause there are moments where magic happens unexpectedly. There are moments, precious moments, where the wonder of the world is all I see. There are moments. Thank you.
We're all applauding here, so
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Jean. Thank you, everyone that tuned in, and for your love and support of music.
also what a pleasure, it's you're blessing us a whole lot more than we could possibly bless you.
Thank you.
And as I'm listening to you, I was the last one to know that I personally, this is what I needed. Because when I feel most drawn, most broken, it's music that begins the healing. So you're doing it for me. So, and therefore I just want more of it.
Thank you, G. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's my mission. I write for myself, and then when you make it personal, it's more universal.
It's very true. I have found that my best received talks have always been for me.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we're all having the same human experience in different degrees.
That's very true. Is there any particular, do you find yourself writing? Oh, okay. So they say, and I don't know who they are, but they say it, that each preacher has about 3 sermons in them. And then throughout their lives, they give a variation on those themes. Is that true for a musician?
I hope not. No, I don't think so. Because, when I start to write, I hear the music in my head at the same time as the lyrics, and then it's polishing the lyrics to make them tighter. I mean, all of my songs seem to be about personal transformation, but there's a lot of ways to explore that, and when I transform, if I transform myself, then I have the possibility of making my immediate world around me a better place to live in. And that's what I'm trying. You can't, as you know, you can't really change anybody else. You can only change yourself. So I'm giving myself the seed of possibility of what I'd like to work on. And that's usually what I'm writing about. And then hopefully it lands with some people that say, wow, this is what I needed to hear. like you just did.
Mhm.
Of course, and it's relevant to us because, as Byron Katie says it, there's no new story. So
Right. Mhm.
we all experience the same thing, and that's why we can relate. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. If anybody would like to ask a question, this is the time. Otherwise, I would just ask for another song if you're willing.
Well,
Sure.
I did have a question about what's the music that you listen to that brings you hope, that brings you joy, that keeps you going?
You know, I listen to almost exclusively Empower Music and Arts artists because they're already all I already know that they're all positive messages. So, you know, I'm listening to Daniel Namod, who is a genius songwriter.
What's
Genius
your
songwriter.
favorite Daniel Namod song?
Have you ever heard All About Love, which he does like a rap? I don't like rap, but the song took my breath away. I don't even know how he remembers all the lyrics. You know, it's tied in all about a bunch of artists, and he's got so many great songs. I mean, I probably use his music more at church than anywhere than anybody else's. Yeah, and Sloan Wainwright, she's got some fabulous music. You know, I don't know. I listen to, you know, the people that have become my co-writers and my friends. I rarely turn on the radio. The news might come on. Okay, I'm going to end with a song called I Choose Love, which I wrote with Karen Taylor Good. And as a reminder to myself, every time there's a reaction or I have something I need to react to, I can choose how I react to it. I can have a meltdown, which is not very, never solves any problems, you know, never solves any problems. Or I can choose to look at it with eyes of possibility. And when faced with something in the outside world, I can choose to look at it with love. And it's always a choice. And you get to make it multiple times every day. Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us, let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sue, for being here, and for Reverend G for just a lovely, lovely program. I just want to invite everyone to join us next month in February when we have with us author Russell Bishop for a conversation about leading a soul-centered life. That's February 27th at 7 p.m. And you can register using that tiny URL at the bottom of the page, or you can visit our website at uucommunitychurch.org to find the link to register. It should be an interesting conversation. We have some other upcoming events that you might be interested in. On Monday, Eric Nelson will lead a mindful living class at 7 p.m. via Zoom, be mindfulness practice and discussion. And then on Sunday, January 26th, we have John Holdley as our guest speaker talking about the future of equity, justice, and compassion. And then on February 1st, our annual renewal retreat with Reverend G, Catherine Reagan Wilson's, Eric Nelson again, and Andy Derby, who will lead different workshops to help us lean into self-care and health as we start the new year. So you can get those at details about their program at our website. And again, thank you everyone for being here.
So Riley, thank you. I love you. Thank you so very much for bringing your beautiful music, your beautiful heart, your beautiful soul. And it is my hope that we will all support Sue in every way we know how to make her journey to bringing us even more inspiring music possible and prosperous. And, you know, we're here to make life easier for each other as we help each other through. So, in other words, please buy her music, as will I.
Thank you, G. Thank you, everyone. It's been lovely. Thank you.
And so please be sure to send me your address.
I will.
And thank you all for joining us tonight. If there's anything you would like to say to Sue, this is the time. Otherwise, who knows when the next opportunity comes. In that case, I wish you all
whoa. Judy Oliver is talking. She's forgotten.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Oops, sorry. Judy, unmute, please.
Okay, I just had a thought listening to Sue initially talk about how much a song may or may not change the world. But the juxtaposition on Monday of an inauguration and MLK Day, I thought was just a lucky happening. And in the evening, I was watching a documentary on John Lewis and sort of going through the history of his experience. And not only did he say, you know, never, ever, ever, ever give up, but also just listening to the music of the era. And there certainly were songs that are with us still today and that did make a difference.
Yes.
There it is.
That's right. You never know.
Well, listen, Sue, you've already made a difference in our congregation. We sing your songs and they always take us places that we need to go.
Thank you, G. Thank you for having me.
Oh, what a pleasure. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Remember that there will be a recording coming your way, and we will also include the website, Sue's website, and where you can purchase her music. Thank you all for coming. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.